Hello, today we conclude a very wine-themed week here at Different Spirits, and a very light week. I'm only reviewing one thing. It's like I'm a normal whiskey channel or something. Today we are doing Pomace Brandy, Orujo. Orujo is Pomace Brandy made in northern Spain. Pomace Brandy is something you will find basically anywhere people are making wine. You will find it famously in Italy as grappa, in France as mar, in Germany, in Greece, pretty much everywhere they make wine except maybe the US, you will find Pomace Brandy. What is it and why should you care? Well, it's basically leftovers after you press the grape must off of the pips, the skins, all that leftover goodness. So you are then distilling the fermented concentrate of the most flavorful part of the grape. So what you're getting, and the reason why you should care, is an extremely characterful spirit. There are a lot of bad ones out there, but the good ones, are very good. So this is the first time I've tried a Spanish one. Grappas get out there into the international market. To some extent, Mars as well, but most of the Spanish stuff tends to stay domestic. This does not, however. This is from, come on, focus, from do Ferreiro in Galicia. Most of the Orujos you will find are going to be in northern Spain, and particularly Galicia. Couple of fun things about this. So it's from Albariño, which is a very, very old white wine grape. So already this is interesting because with white wine, you're not getting any maceration on the skins, right? So it's got that little extra pizzazz to it. It's a grape native to the northwestern Iberian Peninsula. So you'll see it in Galicia, but also across the border in Portugal. Sometimes as single varietal wines, Albariño, but more often as just a component in field blends, Vino Verdes, that kind of stuff, which is how they used to do it in Spain until folks like do Ferreiro started pushing for it as a single varietal wine. And now you have the Rías Baixas DOC established, which has really been pushing for Albariño. So for me, as a person who sells wine for a living, Albariño is something I push people to when they're starting to realize there's a world outside of Sancerre. So when they want a very minerally high acid wine with some crazy aromatics and fruit, Albariño is a great choice. And I am extremely excited to try to see what it does in Pomace Brandy. Another special thing about this, all the information I could find about Orujo says it tends to be bottled at 50% or higher. This one is 42, so boo to that, but at least we're able to try it, right? The other thing about this, so do Ferreiro has access to some very, very, very old vineyards. And by old, I'm talking about vines that are over 200 years old. This is from their Cepas Vellas vineyard, which was planted in 1785, or at least it was, the first vines were planted at that time. So if you want to talk about pre-Phylloxera grapes, these are like pre-Napoleonic War grapes. That's how old these vines are. So yeah, let's get some notes on the table. On the nose. Double distilled. I think I'm not. So I don't think it's direct fired. I think it's either a vapor distillation or a bain marie. I can't remember. I'll put it down below if I can figure that out. Extremely intense on the nose. It's actually initially, like if you handed this to me blind, I would think it was some kind of light aroma baijiu. That's kind of where the character is going right now. So I'm getting lots of like stewed carrots, which is not what I was expecting. I don't know, I was expecting a lot of like white winey characteristics, flowers, grapefruit, that kind of stuff. It's not really leaning, it really leans more in the direction of Baijiu, yeah, but really good Baijiu. Fennel, a lot of fennel. Unroasted peanuts, green peanuts. Beyond the Baijiu thing, there's also even like a little bit of a barley shochu element to this. So you're talking shu, you're talking, koji fermentation, you're talking, the good stuff. This is funky. But give it a little bit of time, and you start to get grapefruit rind, and you start to get. I mean, it's interesting floral stuff, but it doesn't really smell like flower. It smells like hand lotion, but like really good, expensive hand lotion. Reminds me a little bit of that Cipro I reviewed, I think a year or two ago. Tangerine peel, lemon peel, white tea, thyme. There's like a little bit of medicinal quality, like you're smelling a little bit of like a medical trash bin in the background, but nice. Little hints of like I don't even know what. It's briny, but it's more than that. It's like it's like seaside grunge, those little places with the rocks where the water kind of gets caught and it gets a little stinky. There's a little bit of that too, again, but nice. This is wild. I'm really enjoying it. I'm kind of impressed at how well this is doing at 42%. But with low proofs, it's the palate where there's usually issues. So let's see. Asserts itself very, very, very well on the palate. Still very light aroma baijiu, which is not an insult. That's good for me. Beets, carrots, root vegetables, all over the place. Fennel, lots of fennel. A little bit of licorice in there too. There's a Jamaican thing, breadfruit, I think it's called. Breadfruit. Breadfruit is in this. Thyme again. Some kind of like almost a farmy cheese thing. Like some kind of really kind of rustic sheep cheese, maybe. Hand lotion again. Grapefruit, tangerine, lime. So lots of citrusy stuff. Gooseberry, sea salt, white pepper. Lots going on here. There's a tea thing, but it's like not. This is gonna sound bad, but the little pots of tea you get anytime you sit down in a decent Chinese restaurant. That's kind of what I'm getting on the palate, like the basic Chinese restaurant tea. That green peanut thing as well, although it's not as pronounced as on the nose. Issues? I mean, it's still showing really well at 42%, but man, I would love to have this at 50 or higher. It feels just a little hair bit thin, and the finish feels a little cramped to me. One more time. But I'm nitpicking. I mean, this is very good stuff. I'm gonna add like a couple drops of water to it. 4, 5. So it would be fun, of course, would be to compare this to the wine it's made from, to see if there's any commonalities. And sadly, I can't do that because that wine is about like $80 or so. The Cepas Vellas bottling from Do Ferreiro, but I do have their basic Albariño. So let's pop this and see if we can identify any points of commonality. I told you it was a wine wine-leaning week. Glug, glug, glug. All right, put that aside. We'll have that for dinner tonight. So this is their basic Albariño. I think some of the older vineyard stuff gets into this. Like the third and fourth passes, but most of this is younger plantings. Do Ferreiro family winery. Salinas Valley subzone. Yeah, this is a really, really upper level Albariño. I would call this comparable to like a Premier Cru Chablis or something. So when people are looking at that quality, but they're only looking to spend like $25 or so, why would I put it back? Let's leave it right here. This is what I sent them to. So I'm curious to see if I got hand lotion on the nose of this. I do not. Really, I'm getting mostly like lemon, flowers, white flowers. No, wait, I am getting there's a little bit of a hand lotion-y thing happening with the flowers. Maybe I'm going crazy, but no, that's absolutely there. That's crazy. Definitely some minerality, a little salinity happening. I'm not getting carrots on this. I'm not getting like medical waste on this. Slightly herbaceous, more almost basil-y and rosemary than thyme and fennel. Yeah, okay. One thing I will say about this is it feels still a little bit tight. I just popped, you saw me pop this. And the fact that this is tight actually speaks to its quality. Like you pop a bottle of New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc or something, right? It's exploding right out of the bottle. Even the good ones like Cloudy Bay. White wines that take a little bit of time to kind of really open up on you generally just have more to say once they get going. All right, let's see what happens on the palate. Just a really well-made wine. Very citrus-driven. Lemon juice with a little tinge of grapefruit in there. Peachy, a little nectarine as well, which were notes I was not getting on the Orujo. Well, maybe I'll pick them up now when I go back to it. Not a ton of what I would traditionally call minerality. I'm not getting any flintiness or anything, but there is some nice salinity there, some saltiness. Good weight. Touch of green apple actually in there. Yeah, there are so many Sancerres under $30 that are just not as good as this. So maybe a hair expensive by Albariño standards, but I'm okay at this price point. All right, back to the Orujo now. I'm always looking for fun stuff to do in the downtime when I'm waiting for the water to kind of open this stuff up. I thought this would be a good one. Let's see what happens on the nose. On the nose of the Orujo, There are similarities, but you kind of have to go looking for them. Like you would never, ever, ever, like just have these two things side by side and go, yeah, they smell like the same thing. No, totally different things. Not totally different, very different things. Hard to detect a whole lot of changes after adding water. The hand lotion thing kind of takes over a little bit, along with a little bit more kind of fennel aniseedy goodness. Yeah, I'm fine with the hand lotion thing taking over a little bit because it's nice hand lotion on the palate. Ooh. So I'm torn, actually. Adding a few drops of water brings out the salted licorice element on this, like really hardcore. And I dig that because I like salted licorice, but it also kind of like makes the thinness and the cramped finish thing a little bit worse. Yeah, it just feels like it falls apart a little bit on the mid palate transition to the finish. Yeah, this is tough. I mean, I would love, 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 love to have a bottle of this at 50%. I really would. I don't know why they're bringing it on the market at 42. It's a nice bottle, but it's just you can tell like what a improved beast this would be at 50 or anything higher. 45 would be great too. Tough one to score. I'm stuck between like an 86 and an 87. I'm gonna call this an 87 minus, just because it's really more of an 87 leaning down because of the slight finish mouthfeely problems, and they are really slight. Like this is solid stuff. 87 minus. Still really good. Yeah. So if you're looking to explore Orujo, this is the one that's around in the States, and I would love to have a bottle of this if I could get it for a reasonable price. But yeah, I might email them and annoy them to bring out a 50% version. Thanks for watching, and cheers. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my Albariño here. It's already opening up actually. Ooh, lemon rind. All right, thanks for watching and cheers.